Nathaniel Oluka, Uganda's most formidable tycoon, sat in his penthouse overlooking Lake Victoria, swilling a glass of aged whiskey. His daughter Zahara Oluka stood before him, her low button heels clicking impatiently on the marble floor. You are too naive, Zahara. These friends of yours, these boyfriends, they only see our billions. Nathaniel scoffed. Zahara, a stunning 21-year-old with a sharp intellect to match her beauty, rolled her eyes. Not everyone is after our money, father. Nathaniel smiled. Then prove it. Enroll at KIU as a nobody. Live like the poor. If you can find someone who loves you without the Oluka name, I'll believe in true love. And with that, the game began. Zahara arrived at KIU in a battered taxi, dressed in a thrift store jeans and a faded t-shirt. Her new identity, Zahara Wadio, a poor orphan from Soroti on a partial scholarship. The university was a jungle of social predators. At the top of the food chain were the luxury trio, Victoria Nansamba, Shanice Mwonge, and Brenda Nakato, heiresses who ruled KIU with their designer outfits, VIP parties, and vicious tongues. On her first day, Zahara accidentally spilled tea on Victoria's limited edition Gucci dress. You useless rat! Victoria shrieked, slapping the cup out of Zahara's hands. Do you know how much this cost? More than your entire village. Zahara clenched her fists, but forced herself to whisper, I'm sorry. The girls laughed cruelly as they strutted away. Mark Otto, a broodingly handsome law student, worked two jobs to afford tuition. He noticed Zahara Wadiyo, not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because she was the only one who helped a janitor clean up after the luxury trio's mess. You didn't have to do that, Mark said, handing her a dropped notebook. Someone had to, Zahara replied, meeting his deep brown eyes. Mark wasn't like the other guys. He saw through the fake glamour of KIU's elite, and for the first time, Zahara felt seen. Victoria and her clique despised how Mark, the one guy who ignored their advances, was drawn to the peasant girl. Let's put her in her place, Shanice sneered. They sabotaged her assignments, spread rumors she slept with lecturers, and even framed her for stealing Brenda's gold necklace. But Zahara endured, refusing to break. One evening, Mark walked Zahara home under the stars. Why do you let them treat you like that? He asked. Because fighting back would only make it worse, she whispered. Mark stopped, turning her to face him. You are worth more than their fake lives. Her heart pounded as she leaned in. Screech! A black Mercedes pulled up. Nathaniel's bodyguard stepped out. Miss Oluka, your father demands your presence. Mark froze. Sekabembe? As in Nathaniel Sekabembe? The truth spread like wildfire. Zahara Sekabembe was pretending to be poor. Victoria laughed hysterically. This whole time, she was mocking us. Mark felt like a fool. Was I just part of your sick game? He spat. Zahara reached for him. Mark, please. Save your lies, princess. He snarled, walking away. Now exposed, Zahara became a target. The luxury trio leaked fake nude photos of her, got her suspended for cheating, and turned the entire campus against her. Even her father watched coldly. I told you, Zahara, no one loves the real you. But Zahara wasn't finished. At the annual KIU charity ball, Zahara arrived, not in designer culture, but in the same modest dress she wore as Zahara Wadiyo. She took the microphone. I pretended to be poor to find love, But what I really found was how cruel we are to those beneath us. Then she exposed Victoria's family embezzlement scandal, Janice's failed plastic surgeries, and Brenda's secret sugar daddy. The crowd gasped. Finally, she turned to Mark. You were right. The world is fake, but my love for you wasn't. Silence. The days following the charity ball were a whirlwind. Victoria's family swiftly pulled her out of KIU after the embezzlement scandal went viral. Shanice, humiliated by the exposure of her botched surgeries, fled to Europe for further studies. Brenda, however, surprised everyone. One evening, Brenda showed up at Zahara's dormitory. No designer clothes, no entourage, just a tired girl with red rimmed eyes. I, I, I don't know, Brenda stammered, clutching a worn out notebook. About the sugar daddy thing. My mother set it up because we were broke. I was so ashamed to admit it. Zahara hesitated, then stepped aside to let her in. Brenda's betrayal had cut deep, but as the weeks passed, Zahara saw something unexpected. Remorse. Brenda started volunteering at campus charity drive, quietly helping students she once bullied. Mark watched from afar, arms crossed. You trust her now? Zahara sighed. People change. Maybe she deserves a second chance. Brenda proved herself by exposing a lecturer who had been extorting poor students for grades, a secret she had known about but ignored. Nathaniel summoned Zahara back to the penthouse. You've made your point, he said coolly. But games are over. It's time to take your place as my heir. Zahara's stomach dropped. What about my degree, my life? You'll attend Harvard for your MBA and you'll marry Richard Musoke. His entire family merges perfectly with ours. Zahara's blood ran cold. Richard was a notorious playboy who had harassed friends. No! Nathaniel's eyes turned to ice. Then you lose everything. No trust fund, no Sekabembe name, nothing. Zahara returned to campus in a daze. Mark found her sitting by the lake, tears streaming silently. Talk to me, he urged. She told him everything. Mark was silent for a long moment. Then, so what's your plan, princess? Zahara looked up, stunned. You're not walking away? He smirked. I didn't fall for you because of your money. I'm not leaving because of your problems. Zahara made her decision. At the next Sekabembe group board meeting, she stormed in with Mark, Brenda, and a team of investigative journalists. Father, you have two choices, Zahara declared. You let me live my life, or I expose every illegal deal you've made in the past decade. The room erupted. Nathaniel turned purple with rage, but the cameras were rolling. Nathaniel disowned Zahara publicly, but the damage was done. Whistleblowers flooded in, and Sekabembe Empire crumbled under scandal. Zahara, now penniless but free, stood outside her former penthouse with Mark. Regrets? He asked. She laughed. Not one. 5 years later, Zahara and Mark ran a thriving human rights NGO funded by Brenda, now a reformed businesswoman. Nathaniel, after a short prison stint, showed up at their office. A broken man. I, I, I was wrong, he croaked. Zahara handed him a broom. We always needed cleaners. And as the sun set over Kampala, the former pauper princess realized she had never been richer. Then applause. Mark forgave her. Victoria transformed to a university in Kenya. And Zahara, she used her wealth to build a scholarship fund for struggling students, proving that true power isn't in money, but in changing lives. As for love, Mark proposed with a simple reed ring because real love, they decided, needed no diamonds.